Imagine paying for a flight, choosing a seat, getting a confirmation number, checking in on time, and arriving at the gate, only to hear that the airline sold more tickets than the airplane has seats. Not by accident, on purpose. The airline already took your money. Your reservation says, confirmed. But now a gate agent is asking who will give up the trip they paid for in exchange for a voucher. And if nobody accepts the offer, the airline may choose someone anyway. This sounds like selling the same product twice. In almost any other business, people would assume something had gone seriously wrong. In air travel, it is a legal strategy called overbooking. Airlines use it because a plane ticket is one of the strangest products in the economy. The moment the aircraft door closes, every empty seat becomes worthless forever. The airline cannot store that seat and sell it tomorrow. It cannot put it back on a shelf. If seat 22A flies empty from Chicago to New York, the chance to earn money from that seat disappears the second the plane leaves. And airlines know that some passengers will not show up. People miss connections, meetings get cancelled, travelers become sick, business plans change. Some passengers book flexible tickets and move to another flight. Others simply arrive too late. So the airline makes a bet. If a plane has 180 seats, it may accept more than 180 reservations because its data predicts that several passengers will never reach the gate. If the prediction is right, the flight leaves full. Every passenger who appears gets a seat, the airline collects more revenue, and nobody even realizes the flight was oversold. If too many people appear, the prediction fails, and the airline suddenly has more customers than product. That is the moment the airline's private revenue calculation becomes your public airport problem. Overbooking is not illegal in the United States. The Department of Transportation explicitly says airlines may oversell flights to compensate for no-shows. Not every airline does it, but many have used the practice. They do not simply guess a random number. Revenue management systems analyze historical behavior, the route, departure time, day of the week, season, fare types, connection patterns, and how many passengers normally fail to appear. The goal is not to bump people. Bumping is expensive, disruptive, and terrible publicity. The goal is to predict exactly how many people will vanish, and quietly sell those empty spaces again before they do. In that sense, an overbooked flight is not necessarily an operational failure. It can be a sign that the airline's model is working exactly as designed, right up until one passenger too many reaches the gate. Airlines argue that fuller planes improve efficiency. Industry specialists interviewed by the Government Accountability Office said banning overbooking could lead some carriers to offer fewer discounted tickets or slightly increase average fares. That argument has logic behind it. Empty seats produce no revenue, while the airline still pays for the aircraft, pilots, crew, fuel, airport fees, and most other operating costs. But notice who absorbs the risk. When passengers fail to show, the airline protects its revenue by selling extra reservations. When too many passengers show up, a customer absorbs the disruption. Your wedding, cruise departure, job interview, family emergency, or long-planned vacation becomes the flexible part of the airline's spreadsheet. Before an airline can force anyone off an oversold flight, it must first ask for volunteers. That is why the gate announcement usually begins with an offer. Maybe it starts at $300. Nobody moves. Then $500. A few people look up. Then $800. And suddenly the gate becomes a very strange auction. The airline is discovering the price required to buy back a reservation it already sold. There is no federal cap on what an airline may offer volunteers, and passengers are free to negotiate. The offer can keep rising if the airline still needs seats and nobody agrees. But volunteering changes your legal position. You are agreeing to surrender the confirmed reservation in exchange for whatever deal you accept. The mandatory compensation formula for involuntary bumping no longer controls that voluntary agreement. So do not hear $800 voucher and immediately assume it is the same as $800. Ask whether it is cash, a prepaid card, or airline credit. Ask when it expires, whether blackout dates apply, whether it can be combined with other credits, and whether it must be used only by you. Most importantly, ask when the replacement flight is actually confirmed. "We can put you on standby" is not the same as a seat on the next departure. You should also ask about meals, a hotel, transportation, checked baggage, and missed connections. A large voucher can shrink quickly if accepting it leaves you paying for an airport hotel and eating free meals in the terminal. And there is one detail many passengers do not know. Before you volunteer, the airline must tell you whether you are in danger of being bumped involuntarily and disclose the compensation it would owe if that happened. That information matters. If you are unlikely to be selected, you have more freedom to wait for the offer to rise. If you are likely to be bumped, volunteering may produce a better or more flexible deal than the legal minimum. What happens if there are not enough volunteers? The airline activates its boarding priority rules. These vary by carrier, but federal guidance says airlines may consider factors such as check-in time, the fare paid, or frequent flyer status. That means two passengers on the same flight may not have the same practical protection. A loyal customer with elite status and an expensive ticket may be safer than a traveler on the cheapest fare who checked in late. The exact criteria must not create unjust or unreasonable discrimination, and an involuntarily bumped passenger must receive a written statement explaining their rights and how the airline decides who is denied boarding. Checking in early is not a magic shield, but missing the airline's check-in or gate deadline can destroy a compensation claim. A confirmed reservation does not help if the carrier can say you failed to appear on time. If you are involuntarily bumped from an oversold flight departing a U.S. airport, checked in on time, reached the gate on time, and the airline cannot get you to your destination within 1 hour of the original arrival, federal compensation rules may apply. For a domestic trip, arriving between 1 and 2 hours late generally triggers 200% of the one-way fare, currently capped at $1,075. Arriving more than 2 hours late generally triggers 400% of the one-way fare, currently capped at $2,150. For an international flight departing the United States, the 200% window extends from 1 to 4 hours. Beyond 4 hours, the 400% level applies, with the same current caps. And the airline does not get weeks to think about it. When compensation is owed, it generally must be offered at the airport that day, or within 24 hours if substitute transportation leaves before payment can be made. But the fine print matters, because not every person denied a seat qualifies. If the airline puts you on another flight scheduled to arrive within an hour of your original arrival time, no federal denied boarding payment is required. A smaller substitute aircraft, certain weight and balance restrictions, charter flights, and aircraft with fewer than 30 passenger seats can also fall outside the compensation requirement. The U.S. rule also does not cover international flights departing from a foreign country, although other countries may have their own protections. And being bumped is not the same as every other reason an airline may deny transportation. Safety, security, health, disruptive behavior, or failure to follow the contract of carriage are separate issues. Once your boarding pass has been accepted and you have been allowed to board, the airline generally cannot remove you simply to solve an oversale, assuming you met the check-in deadline. Safety, security, health, and unlawful behavior remain exceptions. Involuntary bumping is uncommon, largely because airlines would rather pay volunteers than create a viral confrontation. But rare does not mean imaginary. In the first quarter of 2026, the reporting U.S. airlines recorded 67,016 voluntary denied boardings and 5,058 involuntary denied boardings among roughly 194.5 million enplaned passengers. That works out to just 0.26 involuntary bumpings for every 10,000 passengers. The system usually finds volunteers, or predicts demand correctly. The airline-by-airline differences, however, were enormous. Delta and Allegiant reported 0 involuntary denied boardings during that quarter. Frontier reported 1.80 per 10,000 passengers. Spirit's rate was 0.97, up from 0.21 in the same quarter a year earlier. Those figures do not prove why any individual passenger was bumped, but they show that denied boarding is not simply random bad luck. Airline practices and operations can materially change the risk. The clever part of overbooking is that the airline gets to sell uncertainty as certainty. Your reservation is confirmed, but that confirmation exists inside a system designed around the assumption that some confirmed customers will disappear. Most days, the math benefits everyone quietly. The plane leaves full, the airline protects its revenue, and passengers may benefit from a system that supports more fare availability. On the bad days, one customer discovers that a confirmed ticket was really a promise with conditions. So what should you actually do? Check in as soon as the airline allows. Know the check-in and gate deadlines. Arrive early, especially when the next available flight would be disastrous. Keep screenshots of your boarding pass and reservation. If the gate asks for volunteers, do not accept the first offer automatically. Ask whether the number will increase. Ask what form the payment takes. Confirm the replacement flight before surrendering your seat, and get every promise in writing. If you are selected involuntarily, stay calm and ask a very specific question. Am I being denied boarding because this flight was oversold? Ask for the written statement of your rights, the airline's boarding priority explanation, your confirmed replacement itinerary, and the denied boarding compensation calculation. Do not let a travel voucher distract you from determining whether federal compensation is owed. A voluntary voucher and legally required denied boarding compensation are not the same thing. Overbooking survives because, statistically, it works. Airlines can predict human behavior well enough to sell seats that they expect passengers to abandon. But the next time a gate agent says the flight is looking for volunteers, listen carefully. You are not hearing a random act of generosity. You are watching an airline calculate how much it must pay to repair a bed it already made with your seat. If you want more stories about the hidden systems airlines use to shape what you pay, and what you actually receive, subscribe to Past the Fine Print.